Good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful 6th of August, 2021. Coming up the Crusty Up podcast, episode 146. Let the games begin. Liberals, UNIFOR, CBC pro lockdowns against the Conservative Party of Canada, not to mention against other people that just want to carry on with their lives. All that and more coming up in the show. Please stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 146. Listener discretion and viewer discretion is advised. I tend to swear a bit. So it's been a pretty busy week here in the world of Crusty Canuck. I've been working quite a bit. I did get a job through a friend of mine doing some security work, contract work, what have you. And I've also been hired to other places too. So I've been getting offers for jobs, which is nice. Really nice because it's helped me along the way the past couple of weeks. So I'll give myself a round of clap there. Thank you very much. Yes. But like I said, I'm going to keep this podcast up and running. I'm not going to quit this just yet because you, my fans and my viewers, and I've had some wonderful emails the past couple of weeks in regards to what I'm doing. So thank you for that the warm sentiments of encouragement and light. And even the people that have weighed in and said hateful things to me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, carrying on with the show. Yes, mudslinging. We've seen some peculiar ads in the past week or so too. I'll cue it up here momentarily. But UNIFOR, Canada's new anti-conservative ad, basically. UNIFOR, the union that amalgamated with other auto unions and manufacturing unions in Ontario, especially in Ontario and Quebec, too. They promote all this kindness and social justice and everything, too. And they put an attack ad up there roughly, was it 2 years ago? 2019, against Andrew Scheer's government or proposed leadership against the Conservatives, because I guess the Harper Conservatives didn't really like unions that much. Now, that was then, this is now. I look at unions as a beneficial thing for any worker, okay? When it protects the workers, okay? When you get a job, you do 40 hours a week or more, depending on your skill and qualifications or your own personal drive and your character. Yes, I think you should be protected. You should be protected regardless of what your position is or what you do. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're putting hubcaps together. It doesn't matter if you're wiring a car's electrical system or if you're printing newsprint or if you're working anywhere that involves heavy machinery and skilled labor to do it. And I believe all workers should be protected. But then again, when unions, i.e. unions, get involved and throw attack ads at one politician or one political party, I think their stance is null and void. Okay. Now, I'm not happy with the Conservative brand right now for the simple reasons because Mr. O'Toole has turned around and promoted a carbon tax, but by calling it a carbon savings attack, well, it is an attack, but a carbon savings tax. Okay. Basically taking your money and saving it in case you want to invest in windows or energy efficient vehicles or something good for your house in the name of the green scheme. You know how it works. Okay. And I haven't seen too many Conservatives other than Pierre Poilievre and Rachel Harder step up against C36. Okay. I haven't. I haven't seen too many vocal opponents in the House of Commons stand up against C36. So my concern is with you, my listeners, my viewers alike, okay, who have traditionally been conservative, and nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any Canadian being traditionally liberal or traditionally conservative or traditionally NDP or green for that matter. Okay. But we're not seeing enough of these leaders and these educators and these educated officials standing higher for a higher principle, standing up to this manufacturer status quo here. Okay. Now, I'm sure the union bosses at UNIFOR would know too that legislation like C36 is going to affect them as well too. I'm sure there are members of said union that lean conservative or lean liberal or NDP or lean independently or just don't give a royal fuck whatsoever when it comes to politics. They just want to go to their job, earn their pays, get ahead, look after their families and their interests, and live their life with peace, freedom, and security. Okay. I'll leave links in the description there, ladies and gentlemen, for you to decide. You can click on it and whatever, and we'll have a good laugh or agree with it or disagree with it. That's your fucking prerogative. Okay. But we're living in a time now where everything is so bloody indecisive again. Okay. Here in Alberta, I guess we're lucky because we're getting out of this pandemic phase. We're getting out of that mold. We're getting out of that fear factor. Okay. And like I've said before, yours truly has lost a couple of positions in employment because of my opinion and the fact that I don't want to live in goddamn fear. And neither should you. Okay. But we have officials like UNIFOR putting these commercials up saying, oh, don't vote O'Toole. It's the same old model of this. And oh my God, model of what exactly you try to promote here, UNIFOR? You think you're going to lose your jobs if, let's say, the O'Toole government does get in? Are you going to lose your positions? Okay. What the hell does a workers' union have to do with telling the Canadian people who to vote for? Okay. What the hell does the Canadian Union have to do with trying to conjure up what people say and do outside of their job? Okay. See, that's what gets me with some unions, though, too, because they sit there and they're talking about presenting the workers and backing up the workers up. But are you really backing up the workers or are you just backing up your union? That's a difference, too. Something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Right. And if you like to hear what you see, ladies and gentlemen, please click like, subscribe, and share this all around too on all social media platforms. I do have a page now on Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin. So you can follow me there as well if you get tired of the traditional YT format. But you can follow me there and click like, subscribe, and share all around on your platforms there as well too, ladies and gentlemen. And we carry on again with more of that. Let the games begin. The mudslinging. It's what it is. Okay. Now, I've also read that the CBC, our beloved national broadcaster, yes, the CBC, with their mediocre BS and programming and news, how they all fawn over the Liberal brand and what have you, okay, is asking for more cash. Okay. They're asking for more bloody cash here. Right. And it's from the Western Standard, and I'll just read along here, and I'll leave the link in the description there for you. Based on the Western Standard story, CBC requests another bailout with ad sales down again. Just 578,000 Canadians watched a live CBC broadcast of Emperor Naruhito open the Summer Games, according to Numerous, formerly the Bureau of Broadcast Measurement. By comparison, 975,000 watched a regularly scheduled episode of MasterChef cooking contest on CTV. Yeah, okay, it's self-explanatory. Excuse me. Another plunge in ad revenue, another threat to the CHOP services, another plea for more taxpayer bailout money. Blacklock's reporter says CBC advertising revenues fell again last year by 18%, and the state broadcaster said it will require more federal grants to offset commercial losses. Advertising revenue from conventional TV will continue to be under pressure, management wrote in a CBC corporate plan summary from 2021 to 2025. The plan said, quote unquote, with additional funding, programming sending in the future years will have to be reduced to much available resources, and some services will have to be reduced. Ad revenues totaled $208.4 million last year, down 18% compared to the previous year. Advertising sales overall are down a third over the past decade. That marked the CBC's loss of exclusive broadcasting rights to Hockey Night in Canada to Rogers Communications. The CBC planned and predicted a dramatic boost with Tokyo Olympics ad revenues to $401 million this year, a figure not seen in more than a decade, through data points and scant viewership. Just 578,000 Canadians watched a CBC live broadcast of Emperor Naruhito open the Summer Games, according to Numerous, the former Bureau of Broadcast Measurement. By comparison, 975,000 watched regularly scheduled episode of MasterChef cooking on CTV. Management acknowledged its anticipation of an Olympics ratings boom was speculative. Okay. Well, that being said, I'll leave the link in the description there for you, ladies and gentlemen, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. And I talked about this before, previously on the Crusty Canuck podcast. What is the CBC doing when it comes to trying to get this revenue up? Okay. They receive roughly $1.2 to $1.6 billion a year in taxpayer money because it's funded by the government. Not to mention Justin's big ass bailout that he did back in 2015 and 2016 with $695 million given to mainstream media, right? That's the little guys like Toronto Star and the smaller little papers affiliated and the CBC and CTV and Global alike. Okay, little affiliations. And of course, the fine people at UNIFOR. Interesting. So that just goes to show what happens when you look after the union rather than making sure the union's doing what it's supposed to do, i.e. look after its people.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And just a reminder, too, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin. Follow the Crusty Canuck podcast on Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin. Just follow the description at the bottom of your screen there. Let's see the little red thing going back and forth. Just check that out too. And please check out my shop at customizedgirl.com. I did have a sale last month. The sale is done now. Last month, I was advertising 10% off on all of my items. However, everything's back to regular price. So if you do want to buy some Crusty Canuck gear, just check the links in the description once I complete this video and go from there. I'll probably put another sale up in the next few weeks, generate some interest, but I have swimsuits, I got t-shirts, I got hats, I got stickers, I got veterans gear too. I got camouflage shirts, respecting veterans, all that good stuff. So please check out my shop as well. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Now, yesterday I watched a pretty good debate. Lauren Southern, I guess you've all heard of her. She is quite the outspoken citizen journalist. She used to work for Rebel briefly. She did a lot of coverage on the whole pronoun thing after Jordan Peterson got in trouble. She does incredible work. I watched her documentary about the farmers in South Africa, and she's one gutsy gal, and I got a lot of time for her watching her shows and her videos. And she had a great debate on there about the church burnings and the so-called quote unquote mass graves that were found. And it was a pretty good debate there. And some of the individuals that were on that show with her, one guy refused to show his face. Another guy thought his shit didn't stink. And there was an interesting fellow by the name of Connor there. So if you're listening to this, Connor, please reach out to me. I listened to your dialect. I listened to your dialogue and your points, and you're fucking bang on, dude. Right on. Reach me here, crustybcanuck67@gmail.com. If you're listening to this, I gave a small donation to the show. I sent some kind words because it's nice to sit and listen to articulate people. And it doesn't matter what educational background you have. It doesn't matter where you're from. I don't care if you have a degree in this or a degree in that. I think majority of us listeners out there and common sense folk understand the magic word of humility, right? And if you can stand to be corrected, you can appreciate a victory later on when it comes to other debates and other, encounters with like-minded individuals. So hats off to Lauren Southern and Connor Feller there. I forgot your last name, but I'm sorry. But if any of you are listening to this, please reach out to me. Say a hello or two or whatever you like, and subscribe if you can too. We have to get the words out regardless of what station we're at in life. Let people think for themselves and watch what they want to watch and listen to what they want to listen to. But hats off to Miss Southern too for your stance, especially towards the end of that debate where that Mr. Lance fellow basically accused you of what happened in New Zealand with that crazy fucktard that was shooting up all those poor Muslims. That fucking weirdo. Wow. Holy shit. And I politely called that gentleman a twat in your comment section because it was a pretty shitty thing to do. So needless to say, hats off to that debate. If you guys get a chance, check out her channel and look at that debate. It's really good how they put it together. So check out on your own there, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, carrying on, more of the let the games begin, the mudslinging. So you're seeing UNIFOR, you're seeing CBC and the Liberals constantly tossing the mud around. While these clowns, half of these clowns, have incorporated more federal debt, more federal spending in the name of fear and safety and all this other garbage too. And what gets me is that I'm not seeing Mr. O'Toole really stand high in his morals and convictions either. Like I mentioned earlier, why is he not standing higher in C-36? I keep hearing and seeing Pierre Poilievre stand up against the economy, stand up for the economy, correction. Okay, rightfully so. That's the way our parliamentary system works. You have to have opposition working for a common goal, right? But I'm not seeing the common goals here. Okay. I'm seeing the whole reset mantra, the whole triple B, build back better. Oh, we're doing this to build back better. We're going to help Quebec out with more of this. And now Quebec wants to incorporate vaccine passports. Now the federal government's weighing that all federal employees have vaccine passports too. Can you say papers, please? Jawohl. Oh, you can't go to work unless you have your papers. Interesting. We will make you talk, yeah? Without your papers, you cannot go to work. Interesting. What does that sound like, folks?
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And it's funny how that is being presented too, ladies and gentlemen, vaccine passports. And now you have a doctor in Calgary. Okay. Now I mentioned him briefly. I didn't mention his whole name my last episode, but excuse me. I'm going to give a special attention to this clown here. Now, I'm not going to question any doctor's ability to provide medicine. I'm not. I don't care if you're a chiropractor. I don't care if you're a psychologist, psychiatrist. I don't care if you're a neurosurgeon. I don't care if you're a podiatrist. I don't care if you're a pediatrician. I don't care what medical field you're in or what discipline you chose to do. Because I do have respect for people that spend 7 years in school to get the job done, to understand the science and the constant innovations that medicine has today. But when I hear a doctor or I hear a nurse or an appointed official try to mandate our livelihoods, I get a little pissy. Okay? I get a little fucking pissy. And pardon my French, pardon my swearing, but I would say you should get pissy too. Okay? And every time I look at these bureaucrats, when they're talking about how we have to lock down some more and we have to stop this social gathering, we have to stop this, I'm at a point now where it's arrogance. It's not looking out for your safety. It's just simple bloody arrogance, right? It's like talking to somebody or clapping with one hand,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I have an infection in my ear. Oh.
Yeah, that's basically what that's what I get out of trying to negotiate and talk with these people sometimes too. And the mainstream media is all over it. Now, the fine people at True North Media, Candace Malcolm did a great story on this guy, and I'll just paraphrase a bit of this here too. I'll try to cue the video up there earlier, but I couldn't get the video going here. But I'll leave a link in the description there for you, ladies and gentlemen, as always. According to True North from yesterday, Calgary doctor who claims no ties to Alberta NDP has donated nearly $20,000 to the party. So provincial, I'm assuming. Anyway, this is the guy that was on national television a few days ago, pleading with the Alberta government to encourage more lockdowns. And how can you be so crazy? Oh my God, more lockdowns. We can't have people socializing and getting together. But then again, why did he organize a protest at the Alberta legislature with a few hundred people? So he doesn't want people to go out and mind their business and carry on with their business, but he doesn't mind getting a bunch of people together for his protest. So as long as you protest for something he wants, you're good to go, right? Anyway, I'll read this story. An outspoken Calgary doctor and frequent media go-to who has called on Albertans to topple the UCP government for lifting COVID-19 restrictions claims that he has no affiliation with the rival Alberta NDP, despite donating nearly $20,000 to that party since 2014. In a tweet, Dr. Joe Vipond, or Vipond, however you pronounce it, urged Albertans to take to the streets to take down Premier Jason Kenney's government in a response to the province's decision to lift mandatory COVID-19 quarantines and other public health restrictions. Vipond also called for a general strike. Okay, so you're giving Jason Kenney a hard time for lifting restrictions because of you don't want people to gather, you want people to wear their masks and everything. And yet when I see the footage here of your protest, there are a few people with masks on and some without masks on, yet they're all close together. So which is it do you want, doctor? Now, I'm not questioning your credibility as a medical practitioner or your integrity to work in an emergency room in one of the busiest cities of the country, but I will question your integrity as an adult. And I will question your ability when it comes to looking at the health and safety and welfare of people, because health and safety and welfare consists of having people allowing have the peace and security and freedom to do so. Okay. Now, I'll leave this link in the description, ladies and gentlemen. He also demanded that Alberta's Chief Medical Officer, Dina Hinshaw, resign her role for lifting the restrictions. A lot of people have wanted her to resign because of truth not being told and certain elements not being shared. But needless to say, that's on every medical practitioner. That's on every medical expert that provinces have had. And I know a lot of them have gotten into shit. So let the people decide on that too. And what gets me too with this guy is that the mainstream media, CTV, CBC, and Global, are praising this guy like he's some kind of fucking hero. And yet, where are the mainstream media outlets when individuals are hitting the streets saying, we've had enough of this, enough. We want to go back to work. We want to get food on our table. We want things to go back to normal again. And while the bigwigs are sitting there getting paid, getting themselves raises, we have people out in the street losing their minds. Opioid crisis has gone through the roof. People have lost their jobs. People have lost their businesses. People that have built their businesses over a period of time. Okay. And just lost it like that because of these ridiculous mandates and close downs. And now we have a doctor taking the streets doing the exact same thing as the freedom fighters and freedom marchers, yet he's saying the exact opposite thing. So which is it? What the fuck do you want, Doc?
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Honestly, what do you want? You know, what is it you exactly need from this? Okay. Now, we all know, too, that a lot of hospitals were not overrun. There were people on standby. But we also know, too, that there were a lot of operations that were canceled or postponed. There were other medical emergencies that people couldn't get looked after, certain cancer treatments, you know, certain resting conditions, all because of the beer bug, because of the panic and the fear. Now, I worked security in a hospital there last year. Okay. It's not a big hospital. It's not a huge hospital, but they had their protocols in place because of the beer bug. Okay. And they were expecting an overrun. They were, because they were told that. Okay. They were told that by the good people in Edmonton. The whole time I was there, from the first time they come to Canada, January, until I left in June, there was one case. One case that actually went to that hospital, got sorted out, sent home, and that individual healed afterwards. And then you'd hear about maybe one here or one there or two here. Okay. But that hospital was not overrun by any means. Okay. That hospital was not overrun. So when I hear these doctors saying, oh my God, the emergency wards are filled and we got to do this and we got to do that. Right. And then I don't see this doctor complaining about a 3% wage cut to the nurses in this province either, too. I don't see him complain about that. Well, you should be, because a lot of those nurses were on standby, ready to go in case there was a fucking wave of hell and fury. Okay. And they worked a lot of hours. I know some nurses personally that have earned their fucking pay 10 times over. Okay. So I'm not dissing actual doctors here. I'm dissing you, sir, Mr. Vipond. Smarten the fuck up. Okay. You got the audacity going national television to tell us that we can't do this and we can't do that. Meanwhile, you get a pay raise and your nurses get a 3% cut. And don't tell me you didn't get a pay raise, Buckeye. We know different. Anyway, carrying on again, too, with more of the let the games begin. So we can honestly see that the Canadian government is incorporating an election, and we can see it coming. We can feel it coming. It's just in our fiber, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And I'll just constantly put another liberal ad up for you guys.
Join the Liberal Party of Canada. We'll tell you what to think, what to do, how to wipe, how to pick your nose, all in the name of safety.
And that pretty well sums up the Liberal Party since 2015. Okay, with every mandate they have promoted, with every censorship mandate, every economic mandate, and their lies, i.e. wheat scandal, SNC Lavalin, the groping allegations, the blackface allegations on our beloved potato puppet, sock boy, potato, Justin Trudeau, not to mention his handpicked cabinet based on parody, not an actual merit, and other farble-garb bullshit they've all promoted. Okay. And when I think of the NDP in this country, okay, when I think of the NDP on the federal level as well as the provincial level, this is basically my summary.
Join today's NDP. We'll keep moving the goalposts. You don't walk the line for us, we'll call you racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, homophobic. We look for racism in everything. Please, join the NDP today. And subscribe and donate. Please, walk our line. Thank you.
Yeah, basically, from all the Notleys out there to all the Janice Irwins and the Jagmeet Singhs that sit there and ride the coattails of the bigwigs, all in the name of safety and security, when really they just want to take more of your money and give it away to people. That's what it is. All right. How else do you sum it up, you know? So the next provincial election we're going to have here, let's say 2 years from now, are people going to vote Notley in again because it's the comfortable choice? Or you just get so pissed off at Kenny? It brings me to my point there too about the Conservatives now. Like I mentioned this earlier. Okay, the game's beginning. They're giving Mr. O'Toole a hard time. Okay, great. that's campaign life. That's politics. Okay, there's always going to be political mudslinging, but when you look at what they're doing to him, right, it's pretty shitty. One union ganging up against a possible person, a possible candidate for the job of prime minister, right? Do you think he's going to be favorable if he does win to you guys? If you keep slamming him like that? That's the thing. Now, I'm not saying the Conservatives win. I'm not saying the Liberals going to win. I'm sure as hell fucking saying the NDP is not going to goddamn win. In the Bloc, they don't care. They only care about La Belle Province. They don't care about Canada. They love the Canadian money. They love the money that comes in through oil. They love the perks and benefits, but they don't like Canada. You know, I'm not saying that about Quebecers. I'm saying it's to Bloc supporters. Okay, because I've worked with a lot of great French Canadians out there, ladies and gentlemen, and they're just as loyal and dedicated as any other good soldier out there on the planet. So, to Les Bloc supporters, carry on. Okay, to NDP supporters, carry on. To Liberal supporters, carry on. Okay, and the Conservatives that want to sit in the fence, that don't have a say in C-36, to Conservatives that are backing up O'Toole, yet he's not motivating anything other than a bit of virtue. Okay. Now, to the supporters of Pierre Poilievre, to supporters of Rachel Harder, I would say well done. Okay. And I come from a traditional liberal background, classical liberal, live and let live. We didn't worry about quotas. We didn't worry about people's gender identities, whether they're non-binary or if they identify as a fucking frying pan in the pansexual spectrum, whatever garbage out there. Okay. A live and let live policy. But since my departure from the military, since my time, you know, I'm basically more liberty based, meaning I don't care what you do with yourself. Do it well. Just don't hit people, take their stuff. Let people speak their minds. Let people pray and worship by their own means. Freedom of speech and expression is essential, paramount. Okay. And yet we have these powers that be that want to control that. And I haven't heard too much from Mr. O'Toole, right? I haven't. So what is it, sir? If you're going to kick ass this next projected election, I highly suggest you get fucking motivated and start making some commercials. So now you guys have the money because you've had the audacity to call me 7 or 8 times in a period of a month and a half to ask me for donations, especially after I relinquished my membership. Okay. So get on it. Okay. Get on it, because there's a lot of traditional conservatives out there that'll just vote conservative no matter what to get rid of Potato Head. Okay. And there might be some old liberals that might get rid of Justin by voting for NDP. So you see the dynamic here? So I'm going to encourage you, my listeners and my viewers alike, when the election is called, look for the little guy. Okay? Look for the guy you never heard of. Look for the guy who doesn't represent any of the big three. Right? We need to get back to blue-collar basics again, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get back to the common sense. We need to get back to the mentality of the Lauren Southerns and the Connors and the Frank P. Vaughns and the Adam Daniel Mezei's and the Chris Semchucks and the Fred Stockmans and the Crusty Canucks. We need to get back to those basics again. We need to get back to that. To understand that the parliamentary system is there for the people, run by the people, not run by the guys who are elected to worry about this party mandate or that party mandate, to start worrying about the constituents you fucking represent and to stand on guard for thee. That simple. Yet it's such a far concept for some of these nouveau SJW politicians. Basically just sock puppets.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Yes, and usually I have the Polar Vortex of Bullshit Award for this episode, but I never queued it up. But I think I've awarded too many individuals, and I'm not going to give that doctor Vipond the Polar Vortex of Bullshit. He hasn't deserved it as far as I'm concerned. He's just a turncoat. Yes, of course he keeps promoting the bullshit, but I'll just cue up the logo and the theme music for you anyway. I'll just put it up there. There you go.
Right. The Canadian Polar Vortex of Bullshit.
Yeah, so I didn't put it together. I didn't feel like giving the award today. I don't think he merited. But you, my listeners and viewers alike, you decide yourselves. That's the thing. I look at the title card here. Okay, let the games begin, and the games are beginning. It's a shit show. Okay, federal debt, election principles, taxpayer money. National security. Maybe I should have found a better looking picture. Maybe a couple of female mud wrestlers or something like that for my friends out there. Huh? No? Okay. But you get my point. You get my point, ladies and gentlemen. It's just, regardless of how tumultuous and regardless of how bad and how much political life can eat at your soul, how else do you get in the ring? How else do you get there and make changes? Oh yeah, you can protest. But look at the protests that have gone on. People have been persecuted for protesting for their freedom. People have been persecuted for opening up their stores and going to work and minding their business. Yet how many people have been arrested so far for the church arsons that have happened the past couple of months? Hey? How many people have been arrested for that? Okay? It's okay to go outside and to promote the BLM mandate, take a knee with your mask on, of course, and conglomerate and, get together and have this and have that. But it's not okay for people to go to Edmonton and wave the flag. Or it's not okay for people in Yonge and Dundas to wave the flag. It's not okay for Montrealers to celebrate Montreal Canadiens' victory and wave the flag. No, we can't have that. So it's obvious what things are being sized up for, ladies and gentlemen. Priorities. What are they? We all know the Prime Minister doesn't have any priorities. And all three of the status quo parties have no priorities. They all want to get in and conjure and control. I would like to be elected under the VCP banner. But my principles are simple. Work for the riding. The riding doesn't work for you. Okay? That's the thing. And we need work in the representation. We definitely need work on the equalization payments. Definitely. Okay? And I had a little chat with a gentleman there who was so adamant to say that Canadian oil is not owned by Canadians anymore. It's owned by this, owned by that. But okay, if it's owned by this and that, it's still not going anywhere in Canada, even though a lot of it's still on the ground. And considering this individual used to work for the auto industry, you would think he'd be a first candidate to support oil and gas in this country, right? But he also failed to realize, too, that while he's promoting the whole electric generation, what do you think runs those generators, ladies and gentlemen? Pixie dust and fairy farts? Cookie dough? Oh, magic. No, it's diesel. Okay, diesel. And where does diesel come from? It comes from the ground. That's simple, right? It gets refined and it gets distributed accordingly. And if we had a proper pipeline, a lot of people in Canada would have the proper heating, the proper quantities of fuel they needed for their daily routine. And you'd have money going back into Canadian pockets because Canadians would be working. It'd be Canadian product for Canadians. That's one of my platforms. Canadian products for Canadians. Right? What a great idea. Ooh, capitalism. It works. Anyhow, before I ramble on some more and lose my nerve, this has been episode 146 of the Crusty podcast. Let the games begin. Liberals, UNIFOR, CBC, pro-lockdowners, tossing mud at the CPC and everybody else who disagrees with them, right? Like I said, it's kind of like high school. You don't follow the certain trend. You're chastised. It's like the Rush song, Subdivisions. In the high school halls, in the shopping malls, come form or be cast out. Interesting, eh? Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 6th of August, 2021. Weather is nice today. I'm going to go probably water the plants some more. I'm going to cut the grass. I've got one more shift of this contract job. I'll be good to go, and I'll be starting fresh on Tuesday at my new job too. But in the meantime, if you feel like donating, please donate. Don't hesitate to click like, subscribe, and share this all around. Pass this around to your friends, ladies and gentlemen, please. Spread the word out. Let's change the algorithm to our favor. So share this around on all your social media platforms. You can also find me too on Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin. I use that as well. I'm trying to get my BitChute account sorted out, but I'm having trouble keeping videos loaded on there, or it's not loading. It's on their end or my end. I don't know. It's a poop show. We will sort it out eventually. I will sort it out. Sorry. And this Sunday, please tune in to Fastball Sunday. Now, this might be the last Fastball Sunday for a while. I'm going to try and reschedule things to suit you, my viewers. I'm seeing that not a lot of people come out on Sunday, even though I do advertise the show quite frequently. I mention it every time I do a podcast. So I'm going to maybe change it around. I might do another Thursday show. I might do it midweek. I don't know. So I'm working on it. I have to do it in compliance with my work schedule. So that way I'm focusing on my job and not just on the entire podcast entirely. I like to make this podcast a full-time position, and it takes viewers like you to make that happen. But in the meantime, I still got bills to pay. I got to keep the lights on, and I got my savings back in order again too, because COVID took me for a fucking run. And I know it took a lot of you for a run too. But in the meantime, click like, subscribe, share this all around. You can also find me at Rumble, Brighton, and Wimkin. Pay attention to my YouTube page for updates, and my Facebook page as well too. And once again, hello out there to Lauren Southern and to Connor, the guest that shared the debate last night on Lauren Southern's channel. Fantastic show. Please reach out to me if you'd like to. If not, then that's fine too. But please consider. And you, my audience, please consider donating today as well. Anything will do. I'm working on a Patreon update too, so that might be another added feature in the future. So pay attention to that as well. And like I said, Sunday, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, you'll see myself, El Sofia Rossetti, Fred Stockman. Hopefully Adam will join us. And we might have a special guest joining us too. A New York Nadia. She is kind of broken some waves on YouTube recently with her little puns and statements. Quite the interesting gal too. Her bio is fantastic. And she might join us this Sunday, hopefully. I would like to sit and have a good talk with her and our panel just to pick her brain to see how things are going from a New York perspective, rather than just all of us Canucks gallivanting on cyber world there. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm in Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 6th of August, 2021. Do what you can to help each other out. Remember to hydrate today. It's about 32 Celsius in my area, so get lots of water into you. Don't overexert yourself, and do what you can to help your friends and neighbors out to the best of your ability, regardless of the trying times or not. A little bit of extra helps, helping an elderly person with their lawn, with watering, making sure people got groceries, enough to eat, and just take care of each other to the best of your ability. We will fight in light at the end of this darkness. So do what you can for you and your loved ones. Back each other up. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care and hope to see you all Sunday. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worth.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.